Welcome to CryptoQuandary Interviews. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to always be updated when a new video drops. Welcome back to Crypto Quandary. On today's episode, we have Mike of Smart Digital Payments, and he's going to discuss all about smart digital payments and tell us a little bit about his background. So, how is everything today, Mike? How are you?
I'm doing good. Just enjoying the fact that we don't have any more smoke in the air.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you're over there. Are you dealing with that? How was that whole ordeal?
We had all the smoke from California and Oregon and Washington come up here to Washington. So it was bad. I mean, you could look at the pictures online, but I have a grocery store maybe 200 feet away from me and I can't even see it, or I couldn't even see it.
Yeah, see, I mean, I'm over on the East Coast here, and I mean, not that I know of, I haven't really seen anything, but that's hard to imagine. That's crazy. I did see some things online, but I mean, you know how that goes. You don't know I mean, if I saw something from you on social media, I'd know it was real, but as far as news articles, they always tamper with the filters and all that, so you never really know. But that's crazy. But everybody's safe over there where you're at?
Yeah, right now. No, we had a good, nice rain and it cleared all the smoke out.
Good.
Got rid of all of it.
Are they?
Went from being horrible air conditioned to great.
What's that?
It went from being horrible air conditioned to great air conditioned in like a day.
Huh. That's how it goes, right? Like immediately. I don't want to sound ridiculous, but it'll show you how much I follow the news as far as regular news. Are those fires actually out yet? Are they completely done, or?
I have no idea. I know the ones in Washington are gone. I was watching the fire department put those out, but as far as California is concerned, I don't keep up with it either.
Okay, yeah, it's all right. So to start, give us a little bit of give us a background of you and Smart Digital Payments. Tell us.
Well, my background is all over the place, to be honest. The last business I had was a construction remodeling business. That didn't last very long. I realized real quick that I went from being an asbestos abatement technician to trying to start my own remodeling business, and they were not the same. It was not the same thing. So I was like, scratch that. And I ended up getting into the cryptocurrency side of things because I used to sell credit card processing, so I kind of understood that aspect of things. And then I started looking at the future of payments, and one of my buddies, Corey, he used to nonstop for years just talk about Bitcoin. And I'm like, what is it? And saw him make a bunch of money. And then he started saying, it's going down again. Here's another opportunity. If you guys don't take it, it's going to be a big mistake. Right. So I sat back and kind of watched. And then I just got tired of watching. Bitcoin was at $3,000. And I was like, if I don't do something right now, it's never going to happen.
It becomes a point when you watch it for a certain amount of time. It's like, all right, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months. And you just see a gradual increase. It's like, well, I mean, come on, because you always have that short term up and down. But when you really zoom out and see what it's done, is that what really made you jump in? Like, you just kind of seen it and then researched it, or?
what really made me jump in was the reason why I started Smart Digital Payments
Mhm.
was legitimately the lockdowns. This coronavirus, or what, you can bleep that out so you don't get
That's fine.
demonetized.
I don't.
Uh, yeah, that's why everything was shut down. I could see we were going to be forced, more than likely, to a cashless society, and I just took all the knowledge that I had been building and my success in investing in the cryptocurrency space. Uh, I was able to take all that money that I was able to make in through the volatility of cryptocurrency and the economic slowdown. I had time to, focus on building a business and getting things together, getting the hats made and all that stuff, like
Mhm.
things I wouldn't have been able to do working the two jobs that I was working and going to college and raising both my daughters by myself. So it was, yeah, it was too much. So sorry to say, but coronavirus was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. It
I
was
hear you.
able to kickstart my life.
It kind of it gave you a break in a way. I see what you're saying, But on that note, I do want to say thank you for taking the time to hop on, come on the channel today. I mean, you have a lot going on there. That's,
Yeah, thanks for having me. I actually
um,
appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity.
definitely, absolutely. I'm very thankful you came on today. So you'd said, so basically you got into the crypto space after just seeing everything just kind of continue up. And do you remember like what year it was, or roughly? Pretty recent.
Yeah, it's 2018.
Yep, me too. Same
I
thing.
got my first wallet 2018.
I had the
Quandary.
blockchain wallet, the old
What's that?
blockchain.com. I think that's what it was. So what's so attractive to about cryptocurrency to you? What would you say is like one of the most attractive things about it?
The most attractive thing to me about it is the reach, and the type of individuals that can access the freedom behind being able to use a currency like that. Like the first time I realized that I could affect the entire world with what I was already doing was when I started my last website. It was smartmindbodysoul.com. It was just health and wellness. I was trying to spread positivity, do good,
Hmm.
and I saw that there's people from all over the world that were seeing my posts, and they were helpful posts talking about how, you know, to be healthier and whatever, exercise and all that stuff. So I was like, wow, I was getting some positive feedback from people in Africa and people in places that I never would have thought that I could reach. And so that segued into what I'm doing now. I'm like, I can still reach that same amount of people, but with cryptocurrency, I can reach them directly and I can affect their life. So if I see someone post, like maybe like a starving kid or something, post about their village and what they need, I can literally say, send me your information. I'll send you some crypto. They can take that crypto and they can dramatically change their entire village and change their whole life off of something that wouldn't even affect me at all. And
Absolutely.
that's what attracts me the most about cryptocurrency.
Totally agree. When I asked you that question, I immediately thought about that other countries, and just it gives them access to different means to get food or clothes, or have some type of financial. It's freedom, really. Crypto is freedom.
Yeah, you don't have your government stepping on you trying to succeed. There's no physical, like I'm not having to smuggle money into a village or smuggle food in and then have a cartel or something take it from me and kill me before I get a chance.
Right.
I can literally send value directly to the person who needs it in a secretive way. And
Right. And that would actually bring us to smart digital payments. If you're sending them a crypto and it's on that POS device that's in a store over there, all they have to do is walk into the store and right, and then they're
yeah,
making the payments.
they have one of our tap cards, which are super easily accessible, and I mean they're basically a debit card, but you can load crypto. I guess I have one right here. I have a bunch right here.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
yeah, so they have, you just load the card and it's literally almost weightless. You can fit as much currency on there as you want. But
That's cool. I'm going to ask you some questions about that after we get through the interview questions. Well, I'm going to have you like discuss a little bit more about that too and describe it as much as you want to. As far I don't know what you want to release yet, but
right, test my knowledge.
what type of businesses could benefit from using smart digital payments?
I mean, really, as I think about it, pretty much any business that deals with uh, peer-to-peer transactions or like any kind of point of sale transaction. But I prefer, my target base is dispensaries.
Okay. Dispensaries meaning like small businesses?
Cannabis dispensaries.
Okay. That I thought so.
Yeah, they have a need, and I'm not, I've done sales my whole life, and I don't want to do sales. My objective is to find somebody that has a need, build trust with that person or that establishment, and then fill that need. I don't want to give anybody something they don't want. I definitely don't want to be making phone calls to hundreds of people a day saying, I want to process your payments. It's like, no, there's a huge need in the cannabis industry. Nobody wants to process their payments, and the people that do want to process their payments want to charge them a ridiculous amount because they know that they can. And
gotcha.
I know a lot of people in the cannabis industry that have their own businesses that have struggled to even get to the point where now, cannabis is becoming more legal or more acceptable in certain states. And now that they have finally got their foot in the door, people are basically, chopping that foot off and saying, nope, sorry, you can't stand on 2 feet in this industry. You have to pay us. I mean, I know one business that's paying $32,000 a month transacting in processing fees for $800,000 a month in volume.
Wow.
So, yeah, $32,000 a month is unheard of. There's no possible way that it costs the processor or the bank $32,000 to process those fees. And so, I've decided to change my payment structure to help the dispensaries and to help the businesses and put some money back in their pocket. So instead of paying tens of thousands of dollars, these businesses are able to capitalize on some of the percentage that we charge for the customers. The customers end up paying a small percentage per transaction, and we just give some of that back to the dispensary so that one, they can have an affordable product, and two, they don't have to compete so much with the upkeep on their payment processing fees. I mean, it's ridiculous. Just because they have the money doesn't mean that they should have to spend all that money.
Right. No, not at all. That's a ridiculous amount of money. 32,000.
And that's on the low end. That's only 4%. And some of these
That's what I was just gonna say. I was wondering how much percent that would have been. 32 off of what, eight? Would you say 800,000 in sales?
Yeah.
That's a lot. Either way, $32,000, regardless of the percentage, that's a lot of money. Just the process.
That's like a year's worth of mortgage on a nice house.
Yeah.
And that's per month.
That's ridiculous. That would pay off a good decent amount of my house, actually.
Right? So I just dropped, I don't make, but one of our packages is we charge the merchant $198 a month, and then we charge the customer a small percentage, and it really depends on the volume of the store. And then that's basically how we get our money is the customer paying the percentage. And for the most part, the customers aren't paying ridiculous amounts. Like you won't on average be paying anywhere more than an ATM would charge you in the first place. So
Gotcha.
it really doesn't affect the customer negatively, and it dramatically helps the dispensary.
Makes sense. Huh. Um, so what cryptocurrencies are currently available for use on the POS system for smart digital payments?
There's actually quite a bit. A few of the main ones are we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, DAI, BNB,
Oh, well, you have
and
DAI on there too, huh?
yeah, we got Binance on there. NPXS is FundyX's project. Um, so, and FundyX is the business that created the software for the XPOS to make the transacting of the cryptocurrencies possible on a point of sale device. It's the first of its kind, and I'm very happy and very proud to be a partner for FundyX.
That's awesome. That's a good amount of crypto on a payment system.
There's more too, and the blockchains that are on there is NEM, Binance, Stellar, A-Chain, Zcash, WanChain, Kyber Network, KuCoin.
Finance
I
is
mean,
huge in itself. Holy cow.
yeah, they've got a lot going on, and I personally am trying to add other projects. I really want to get XRP on there, even though it's not really what they intended to have as their, as one of their use cases. But I don't see why they wouldn't want XRP available at the point of sale.
It's adoption either way if you look at it, you know. So I don't see why they wouldn't accept it. I mean, there's so many people that, well, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, and part of that is, like, I'm not just trying to focus on just the XPOS device per se on the long term. There's also other projects that I'm in talks with that's not really their target focus on where they want to go with their projects, but I still want to be able to adopt other forms of payment as it pertains to cryptocurrency and digital assets in general. I'm trying to stand out as not just another payments company. I want to be the crypto and the weed guy for the payment industry. And
Yeah.
I definitely am doing something different.
Sounds good. It's always good. This, I always say it's when you find your own niche.
Everyone has a problem with that word. I just call it a niche.
You know what I mean? But when you find your own thing, it's, you'll run with it because it's yours. It's, I mean, you'll be number one in it because you're the one who, tripping over my words here. It's hard to even put it out there into a thought, into words. But
Well, I don't work out before I got to use my brain.
yeah, I should have waited. It's one of those things where if it's a passion of yours, then you'll get it. No matter what, you'll get it. That's how I always. It's funny earlier too, when you had said you had through social media you were reaching out to people to help with workouts and positivity, and because I had another page as well called Universal Vibes 11, where I would just kind of throw positivity out there, and I'll do it now just on my regular Facebook or CryptoQuandary page. But that's kind of how I started too, like through the working out. I did bodybuilding shows like years ago. I mean, I wasn't anything crazy, I did two, and I did it for myself to have fun with it. And then from there, it was always health and fitness. And then that kind of transformed into positivity and just helping people. And then that transformed into cryptocurrency. So I'm definitely on the same page with you 100%. I totally get where you're coming from 100%.
Yeah, it's an unlikely transition, but
It is. It's weird, right? You start out like working out or trying to help people, positivity, and then all of a sudden you're into it transforms into some type of finance. It's like, wait, what? But what does the finance do? It's freedom. It's financial freedom. There's so many more things to cryptocurrency and blockchain technology that people don't realize. I feel like people like you and I are the ones who we see what it's the what's behind it, the why, because everything has a who, what, when, where, why, and how. And it's those questions, when you ask those questions to yourself about the blockchain and crypto industry, I think that's what, when you get really deep into it, that's what makes people, you're either for it or, you're either all in or you're kind of like just messing with like, oh, I can make money off it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are those that are here to help themselves, and then there are those that are here to help others. And I believe that
Exactly.
the ones that are here to help others will stick around and become successful and find our own niche. And the ones that are self-serving are already dealing with the repercussions of that by losing their platforms, losing the respect. And this is the beginning. These people will be remembered as either the Ralph Naders or it's like they'll be remembered for what they're doing now, and they won't be welcome later on if they don't see the big picture. And the big picture is that everyone needs a level playing field. I mean, there's a reason why it is being repeated continuously. Level playing field, because that's what crypto does. It takes opportunity and it spreads it evenly. And if people can access the same opportunity, the same monies, then as opposed to like if you're stuck in America, I say stuck just because if you're just in one place, if you're in America and someone in another country wants to earn the same minimum wage as you are making in Washington, they can't because they're not there. But now with cryptocurrency and the internet of value, there's the opportunity for, like, let's say if I want somebody to make my website look nicer, somebody in another country can be on their cell phone. They can learn the valuable skills necessary to do what I need done. And then I can pay them the same way I would pay someone that's standing right next to me, because that is the value that it holds to me. And that is the opportunity that I have based upon the wage that exists where I am. But for that person, that opportunity never existed to capitalize on that level of prosperity because it doesn't exist where they are.
Absolutely. 100%. That was a good statement. Yeah, you could pay them in whatever cryptocurrency you wanted, whether it's Epic Cash, Litecoin, Bitcoin, whatever, and it's immediate. The person that's standing right next to you versus the person in another country are going to get it in just about the same amount of time too. I mean, and that you're talking overseas, you're talking, versus like, 10 feet away from you, because it does the same thing. It goes on the blockchain, the mempool, the block, it's all the same thing. Each transaction is distributed the same way. I'm going to hit you with one more question here. So where do you see crypto and blockchain going in the normal everyday world? And it's opinionated, like, nobody that's watching this knock them for this, because this is just opinionated question. Everybody has their own opinion. But where do you see it going in the future?
The future,
or let me rephrase it. Where would you like to see it go in the future? Let's put it that way. We'll rephrase it.
yeah, that's a difficult one. I'll just go with trying to not sound like a crazy person, but all the technologies that are coming out right now, in my opinion, are going towards like a collective mind, basically. And with the Neuralink that exists and the satellites they got up in the sky that's, putting internet on the entire globe, and the fact that we have the capabilities to transact with the space station, in a second. I could send money to the dude hanging out at the space station right now if I wanted to. Like, I believe that all of these technologies combined with self-driving cars and things of that sort, that maybe not everyone, but the societies and people who want to be a part of societies will be able to think value to one another in the blink of an eye. Like, I will be able to think a denomination of currency that belongs to you in my mind, and it will just end up in your wallet. That's what I think the future holds for cryptocurrency.
If they go through with that Neuralink, I mean, I could see that happening, you know. I mean, look at what's happened so far. I mean, how in what to the past 2 years? Not even the past year. How many things have happened and people are just jaw dropped. Like, I mean, between they're talking about this Neuralink thing now, which it was probably talked about in the past few years or whatever, but it's just become more mainstream. At least I feel like, as far as I've seen so far. And then you have yeah, self-driving vehicles, you know, that are fully ran off of electricity or solar power. I mean, it's pretty crazy what's going on in the world. So I don't think that's out of reach. I really don't.
No, yeah, I know
Well,
it would have sounded crazier in the 90s.
yeah, absolutely. Back in the '90s, it would have, and a lot of the people back then are probably thinking about it. Who are alive now are probably thinking about it and going, "Geez, man." And it's funny because I mean, I was only born in what '85, so when I think about it, back in like 2000, I remember, sitting in a car with my mother going somewhere, and thinking like, wow, today's the day. Like at midnight, it's going to be 2000. Like, what's going to happen? And fast forward 20 years, look where we're at. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah, if our present reality or current reality is any notion of what the future is going to look like, just pay attention to what all the rich people are saying, what they want, because they have the power to make it happen. So if their
Absolutely.
hopes and dreams are more than likely going to be our realities, which is why
Absolutely.
I'm putting myself in the position to where I am one of those people because I don't agree with the direction that things are going. And I believe that fairness and equality is the only way that we're going to succeed as a people. And it ain't that way.
I agree 100%. I do agree. Definitely. I mean, people say, they talk about, I'm not getting political here at all, but people say, oh, who are you going to vote for? I go, just wish somebody would get in there that would do right for the people and everybody, and but there'd be a perfect world. So I mean, um, what about that was one question I wanted to ask. If you have any idea yet, chargebacks on the POS system, it would help businesses not have to deal with a lot of chargebacks, right? Or would that be a thing?
Yeah. So I mean, there would be no chargeback. So like how a bank would work is you send the transaction, it goes to the bank. The bank basically okays the transaction, and they hold that monies until that transaction clears, which sometimes could take 3 to 5, maybe sometimes 7 business days for that actual transaction to clear. So then the consumer can just take the product, contact the bank, say that was a fraudulent transaction, or they say they don't want the product, and then that company has to pay for that, that chargeback. But with cryptocurrency, it's a me to you type of thing. I have it in my wallet, and I want to pay you, so I send the transaction. It goes to you. You have the currency. There's no backing out of that, so there's no chargeback.
Right.
You
So
don't
with
have
the
to wait.
whole, that's the same with the POS system, right? There would be no chargebacks, right?
Yeah, it's the same exact thing. The only difference between me sending you a payment on my phone with a wallet to wallet and the XPOS is that there's more safety mechanisms for the XPOS device because it's for businesses and large transactions and things like that. So there's more of a, we have to go through a know your customer, the KYC clearance and all that stuff. And it has to be, we have to know that it's a legitimate human being on the other side, not a fraudulent actor
Right.
or
Right.
anything like that. So, and then, the device prints you a receipt, your phone doesn't.
That's awesome. So yeah, the reason that I just kept harping on it was because, oh, there it is.
Yeah, right. It's got the swipe on the top and the printer.
Hmm.
It's got the chip and pin, and then the contactless tap cards. It's got a camera on both sides, so you can take pictures of the QR codes.
That's
Pretty
awesome.
sweet.
Hmm. Yeah, the reason I was harping on it was because it's a big thing. It's one thing that a lot of people don't think about whether they have a small business or even a larger business, and they want to use cryptocurrency as payments, or just simply something they don't think about, chargebacks and how it, but chargebacks are something that really does impact the businesses. It really does hurt them when people continuously do these things, whether it's legitimate, like, oh, I didn't want the black shirt, I wanted the red one or whatever, and somebody bought it for whatever. Or if it's some fraudulent charge where somebody's just trying to get one over, it definitely hurts these businesses. So with crypto and no chargebacks being really possible, it really does help small businesses a lot. Any business that's going to accept crypto, it helps them a tremendous amount. Helps them save money in the long run, not only from the fees of the, what is it, the other POS systems and credit card companies, but it also helps in that aspect. So they're not getting hit with all these chargebacks and fees from that. So it's definitely a win-win for the small business. So blockchain projects do have the ability to take out the middleman from an accounting perspective by having a trustless and verification-only protocol. Could you see the small or even larger businesses saving money in the future by not hiring an auditor and simply using a blockchain ledger to verify transactions? Now, that was a question I came up with the other day that, and I'll break it down. Like, I don't know why I got so in depth and crazy with that. But what do you think about how a business would have to hire an auditor? Let's just say I was running a business and selling whatever, I don't know, selling apples, doesn't matter. And usually you'd have to hire an auditor to audit every transaction and everything. So with crypto, everything's on the blockchain. You really don't have to hire that middleman. You don't have to hire that person to go through all your bills and transactions. You could literally save money and verify every single transaction yourself, as opposed to trusting that middleman that you're paying to verify everything and go through all the accounts and the bills and the receipts and all that stuff. What do you think about that?
I mean, the whole point about the blockchain transactions is that they are verified by the nodes themselves. They're a fraudulent transaction won't go through to the rest of the nodes or the rest of the ledger if the one node picks up on it. So it's inevitably, I'm not much of a tech guy, and
No, 100%. If there's not in the wallet, it won't send it. It'll say no, you can't send it. There is no oh yeah, I'll send you $200, and then it's sent from my thing or whatever, and then it's like, it's no, it doesn't happen. It kicks it back. It says not enough funds.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like like the bank's the big brother. Yeah, I'll borrow some money from my brother. Just give me the product now, and then the brother's like, you don't have money. You don't have a credit line with me, bro. Like, oh well, I still got my product, so who cares?
Exactly. So, but I mean, you have anything you want to add to wrap up?
I mean, I did want to point out kind of the direction that we're trying to go, because I think it's important. I think it's important for people to understand that, we're focused on, instead of me going out and just hammering the streets trying to get a bunch of clientele to build my pocketbook, our focus is on nonprofits. So what we're doing is we are turning nonprofits that I believe in, and that we believe in, that they're making a big change in our direct community, and then further it will expand further, but we're creating them as partners, so that, like, let's say the specific nonprofit, I'm not going to name yet because we haven't signed any papers, but they go out excuse me, they go out and they help the underserved Black community fix their houses up, and they do their landscaping and things of that sort. And they already work with contractors and realtors and things of that sort. So basically, we save all of the businesses that work with them money by changing their credit card processing over to us, and then we give 50% of all the profits that we make to the nonprofit in order to fuel and fund their venture so that they can help more people. And we also do that with the residuals. So the monthly payments that we get every month is going towards these nonprofits and not towards the banks.
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, that way, it brings them into it. What they're doing brings attention to my business, and I'm able to create more income for myself, therefore become more successful and be able to help more nonprofits. And I feel like if I do things that way, then I can, on my way to my dreams and, my actual dreams and goals, I can also help other people fulfill their dreams and goals, and we can all make money and inflate our personal economy, as opposed to just leaking all of that money into the banks that are only going to take further advantage of us.
Absolutely. So you're saying, I know. Yeah. So basically, in a nutshell, the whole idea is just everybody's working together. And what you're describing is, correct me if I'm wrong, but everybody's working together so that everybody can, better themselves, basically, instead of giving that money to the bank.
It's communism meets capitalism, but from the ground up.
Right.
Everyone's doing their part, but everyone's getting a fair share.
Yes. Exactly what I'm trying to say. I've always said, everybody works hard for their money. The regular person goes to work 8 hours a day, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. They get a paycheck at the end of the week, end of the 2 weeks, month, whatever it is. And then they just give it to the bank and they say, here you go. It's like, you worked so hard for that money, and then the bank can just lose it. And, and then there's people out there that, it's insured by the FDIC and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. When they lose your money, let's see how long it takes for them to give it back, because it ain't going to be like, oh, wait, here you go. I mean, I don't know, recently and very recently this year, I guess I've learned more and I just educated myself a little bit better, but I'm just not a fan. I'd rather, if I don't have to deal with banks, I don't have to. And I think a big part of me that led to that, one of the circumstances was the purchase of my house, because they drove me nuts. They drove me absolutely crazy. And, they want to know, all the way back to the first penny I ever picked up off the ground as a kid. It's, come on, really?
So I'm gonna pay cash for my first house. I'm a renter right now. I'm going to pay cash for my first house because I don't want to have to ask anybody for anything.
Very smart. Yes. Yeah. Just person to person. Boom. Keep the banks out. I swear they are too much. But yeah. And you have anything else?
Other than just to thank you for letting me come on. This is my very first podcast or interview, so I appreciate you breaking the ice for my business.
No, definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what else Smart Digital Payments has to offer. If you guys want to follow Smart Digital Payments, your Smart Digital Payments on Twitter, right?
Smart Digital Payments on almost every social media platform, Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You'll get the most value off of my Facebook because I post multiple times a day, and I post about things that are educational as it pertains to blockchain. And I've made a few videos on there. One of them explaining some of the projects that I have an interest in the future. One of them being Epic Cash. That's by far my favorite project right now that I'm looking at.
Absolutely. But Max was just on, so I'm pretty sure you knew about that. Max was just on the show, so
yeah, and I love it.
Cool. Well, if anybody wants to, I say just drop a follow Smart Digital Payments, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, all social media.
Publish OX.
What is it?
Publish OX. It's
Publish OX. Okay, I do know Publish OX. Okay.
yeah, you get paid cryptocurrencies for publishing and reading other people's content. It's pretty nice.
That's one I'll have to check out. All right. Well, I'm going to put all the links in the description, and I hope everybody has a good day, and we'll see you in the next one, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.